We're talking the latest NBA news and rumors here on NBA Now. I am Will Scott. We are 4 days away from NBA free agency. It all gets rocking and rolling on Friday. We are going live on Friday. Hope you can tune in. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to have you covered throughout NBA free agency. Also, turn on your notifications. It's the best way to stay in the loop. Also, you get an alert on your phone whenever we put out a video, whenever we go live. Is Damian Lillard staying in Portland? Dame and the Blazers met yesterday about his future amidst all the trade rumors we've heard in recent weeks. Now, Chris Haynes, who's very plugged in with the Dame situation, tweeted this. Portland Trail Blazers GM Joe Cronin issues statement on meeting with Damian Lillard. Quote, I met with Dame and Aaron Goodwin, his agent, this afternoon. We had a great dialogue. We remain committed to building a winner around Dame. A lot of people are taking this quote and saying, I guess he's staying in Portland, and that could be the case. But I don't really think this quote means anything. What else is the Portland Trail Blazers GM going to say? Oh, yeah, we're trading Dame? He's not going to say that right now. He wants to see how this thing plays out. I think Dame wants to see how this plays out as well. I still think it's possible that he gets traded. Also, if the GM said, yeah, we're trading him, wouldn't have as much leverage in a deal. NBA Central tweeted this. Very interesting stuff here. Damian Lillard hasn't requested a trade and plans to wait around to see what Portland does in free agency, per Brian Windhorst. It sounds like Damian Lillard is just extremely conflicted right now. He's like, okay, do I remain loyal to Portland where I've been for 10 years, or do I go to a contender? Do I request a trade? He doesn't want to tarnish his legacy in Portland, and I don't really think he can do that at this point. They're going to retire the number 0. He's one of the best players to ever play for them. So I just think he's conflicted between, like, okay, do I retire in Portland? Do I try to win a title in Portland, or do I go elsewhere? That is the kind of thinking and idea I think Dame Lillard is contemplating right now. He's very conflicted, it appears. Will Damian Lillard ask out? Type Y for yes or type in for no down in the comment section. Will he ask out? Let me know down in the comment section. I don't know if he will, but I think it makes sense for both sides to move on. Damian Lillard is getting old, man. He doesn't have much time to win a championship. If he goes to a team like the Heat, they're going to be a championship contender next year. He'll have a chance to win his first ring. And then Portland, when you're talking about how it makes sense for them to move on, they just drafted Scoot Henderson. Give him the keys. They have a good young core. They drafted Ryan Rupert and Chris Murray as well. They have Shaedon Sharpe. They have Anthony Simons. It makes sense for the Portland Trail Blazers to move into another direction as well. Dame is still a great player. I mentioned the age, but he is still putting up outstanding numbers. 32.2 points per game, 7.3 assists per game. You got to think if he goes to a team like the Heat, they'd have a really good shot to win it all next year. And the Heat right now are the betting favorites to land Damian Lillard. The Brooklyn Nets have been linked. Really, I think it's either the Heat or the Nets. I don't really think any other team makes a whole lot of sense here. The Raptors, the Knicks, and the Celtics also on this betting odds list. Now, we had the draft last week, but it's still not too late to go get your NBA draft hats at that link below, chatsports.com/NBA draft hats. Your favorite team is on there, I promise. Go and check it out. Chatsports.com/NBA draft hat. Maybe your new favorite player put on this cap last week. Now you can as well. Chatsports.com/NBA draft hats. What's going on in Cleveland? Brian Windhorst had an interesting quote today. We're going to get to that in a second. In terms of what might be going on with the Cleveland Cavaliers, here's what Windy said. I have some speculation. There's a couple of outlandish stuff that I'm not going to say right now because I'd get in trouble. I wish I could tell you more, and I know I shouldn't tease you. Brian Windhorst, man, what's going on in Cleveland? I don't know. This was right before the Gobert trade, right before the Mitchell trade in Utah. He was like, what's going on in Utah? Now we're saying, what's going on in Cleveland? And it's hard not to listen to this quote in terms of Brian Windhorst speculating that something might be up in Cleveland and not think Donovan Mitchell might be on the move. That's what I took away from that. Could D. Mitch be on the move? For the second straight offseason. Here's what he did in his first season in Cleveland. He was outstanding. 28.3 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, 4.4 assists per game, 48.4% from the floor, nearly 39% from the field. However, the Cavs lost to the Knicks in the first round of the playoffs, so a disappointing end of the season for D-Mitch and the Cavs. Could they move in another direction? Marshall Green, the host of Knicks Now here on Chat Sports, tweeting this out earlier. This was Donovan Mitchell at the Mets game, and D-Mitch's dad works for the Mets, so don't read too much into him to go in a Mets game. He goes to a lot of games, but look at who he was with at this Mets game. And Marshall Green is saying, I'm sure Allen Houston, former Knicks, Spike Lee, and Stephen A. Smith did not talk to Donovan Mitchell about the Knicks. Of course, they talked about the Knicks. And also, Johnny O'Brien, the Knicks assistant coach, also in this photo. Sounds like tampering to me, producer Jack. I don't know, but Donovan Mitchell might be connected to the Knicks again. Can you imagine all those rumors last offseason? We could be seeing it happen again. Will Donovan Mitchell get traded? Type T for traded or type S for stay if you think he stays in Cleveland. Down in the comment section. I think he stays. It doesn't make any sense for Cleveland to trade him. He has multiple years left on his contract. He's coming off an awesome season. You should build around him. He is your face of the franchise. You got Darius Garland. You got Jared Allen. You got some talent on this Cavaliers team. Be aggressive. Try to improve the roster in free agency. It does not make sense for Cleveland to trade him. Now, if he does get traded, two teams to watch for. Obviously, the Knicks and also the Miami Heat. Maybe if the Heat don't get Dame, they've already lost. They already lost Beal in terms of swinging and missing on Beal. If they also cannot get Dame, maybe they'll pivot here to Donovan Mitchell if he does, in fact, go on the trade block. Let's shift gears now to James Harden. Could he be staying in Philadelphia, one of the top free agents in 2023? Brian Windhorst said this about the Harden situation. The 76ers are operating like they've got a good chance to keep James Harden. Other teams out there that are Harden suitors seem to be looking elsewhere. Very interesting development here. Here's what Harden did last season in Philly, 21 points per game, over 10 assists per game. He's a good distributor with the basketball. Found Joel Embiid a lot, 44.1% from the field. Now, of course, Houston's really been the team that has been connected to Harden for months now, and it's been the expectation that Harden might go back to Houston. However, the Rockets drafted him in Thompson. They have some young talent at the point guard position now. I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense at this point for Houston to bring him back. And I've been saying for months, yeah, if James Harden wants to come back to Houston, they should bring him back. But Amin Thompson, I think the Rockets are very high on him, not to mention the Rockets have been linked to Fred VanVleet and some other guys in free agency. So it seems like the noise has died down the last 2 weeks or so about Harden going back to Houston. Plus, Harden wanted Doc Rivers out. That's been what the noise has been. So if Doc Rivers would stay in Philly, I think Harden was as good as gone. But now that Nick Nurse is the guy there, maybe Harden will opt to stay with Philly. But should the 76ers re-sign him? Does this make sense for Philly? Type 1 for yes or type 0 for no down in the comment section. Should they re-sign James Harden? Looks like the Clippers might be re-signing Russell Westbrook. Howard Beck tweeting this out. I should say NBA Central tweeting this out earlier. Russell Westbrook likely to stay with the Clippers. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments.